Oh, Sue. Hello and welcome, watchers. Welcome to the Animus. This is your host, Ominika, bidding you yet more tales involved and inhibited an established connection within the Animus itself. It is always often that we have encounters and recent records of numerous onset heroes that make a name for themselves, whether it is, of course, through the efforts and duties or perhaps obligations that they do, or if it's, of course, some sort of sense of morality that drives them to commit such actions. It is here within the Animus that we, of course, acquire many of these unknown feats and stuff for us to, of course, perhaps evaluate and learn a little bit something from what, of course, intends to drive them forward in any form of obstacle or trial that falls before them, that which to, of course, impede their path. Let's see. So, making some established checks here. We're taking it into a little bit of onset perspective and configuration check, to put it best, on the new system that is, of course, called YouTube for this platform. Still not entirely used to it. I suppose one can definitely consider it a same or rather similar experience as dipping into a beach or an ocean versus a pool itself. I think it could be best considered in comparison that way, seeing as how the platforms, by comparison, Twitch and then there's YouTube, each one has its own different refined uniqueness in one way or another. Which makes me beg the question if any of how you guys have ever experienced the senses or onset concept of swimming either in a pool or a beach. I could I'll be definitely recording that question. And of course asking any additional watchers that happen to tune themselves into the Animus looking to learn some form of connection with themselves, or any particular individual or hero that indeed piques their interest. So, with that in mind, let's see. Checking, testing skills here. Not bad. Transition appears to be rather smooth, which is perfect. Let's see, it does appear to be feel a little bit delayed, but um, it's supposedly something that has to fit in with the shape itself, much like a shoe. I think the term that would best describe it is basically uh, wear into it. Wear into example is a bit not the best way to describe it, but more so wear it until you can, I suppose. I don't know if you understand the onset meaning that I'm trying to get at here with that kind of phrase. Well, let's see. Okay. So, as it is, time is apparently fairly short, unfortunately. We have roughly about an hour and 30 minutes, give or take a minute or two. So, with this, it'll have to be a test that will have to suffice for the time being. Seeing as that with the test that we were conducting, it was to make sure that all of the operations were, of course, working in order. The reason being that we haven't started the test earlier on, and that we are, of course, late, is that we are currently under a deadline of the use of effects regarding a specific skill enhancing potion under ourselves. It stops upon timer with ourselves being inactive, but then starts back up when we are establishing activity with any said character that of course consumed it. With that being said, as you can see, it is as it was intended to be called. Erinn Skill Pet Trainer. Now, uncertain as to why this primary category of skills are beset within the onset range of the pet trainer talent, but it really can't be helped. But at the very least, it enables training up the skill nonetheless much more easier. Let's see, heal when engineering. Full of monsters, but the quest isn't. Ah, okay. So we have to eliminate some hyenas, is what she's asking us to take care of. Alright. So in the process, before we are able to continue on with, as I would call, or rather, what the Chaldea organization has called the singularities of Erinn, we must take care of managing Mash Kirlight's skills and abilities, which is, of course, what is called upon to take care of these training skills and whatever source of regimen that is essential in advancing with the singularities itself. Okay. So that being said, as difficult as it is for me to say, having to take care of this skill in particular has not been all that easy. It is because of the onset location of where it is that requires training is what makes this skill itself so entirely difficult. So, as it is, as you can know, it is of course called rare mineralogy. And what must be done is mining an assortment of ore in a certain area. The problem with this is that the area itself is of course compiled with a ton of numerous mobs. These mobs are essentially on the premised category of golems, bison, and shriekers. Shriekers have to put it simply, a long radius of detection. They can spot you from a long ways away. Bison are second to that in enemy or threat detection. Golems, they don't have as much of an extended detection range, but their aggro radius or aggro time is tremendously quick. What causes these onset mobs to be such a particularly huge thorn in our side is that they endlessly spawn at an uncontrollable rate. So when one is killed, two take its place. Take it into an example, the Hydra. where it is when you chop one head off, two more grow in its place, constantly, with no end in sight, regardless of how many heads you chop off. So, this is, as you can see it before you, what the mask is, of course, up against. So, within the estimated time of what we have permitted for ourselves, let us hope if there is any capable individuals that are essentially generous enough to help us with this annoying endeavor. Looking for with golem knights. Now, taking a bit of experience from this, attempted to create a party in such a same regard, but this is of course what the onset message that ends up appearing for a former said party. We don't have any particular quest, but let us see if let us see if we can at least come up with some other means of requesting some form of assistance. Surprisingly, that there's not a plethora of party messages of wanted appearing. With how expansive this reality is, this parallel. Taking into note, there are two parallels: Alexina parallel, that which Ukitu resides in, and Nao parallel, that which, as you can see before you, now Mash Curelite is of course occupying at this time. Let's see. Not looking for Arch Runestick. We're looking for more of a request. Let's see. It's easier to deal with any form of enemies in the Hylian Mana Reserve. No problem. It's this place that ends up becoming a rather monotonous situation. If Fugitsu was, of course, handling it, this would be absolutely no trouble whatsoever. Granted, given how tremendously strong she is, and how much time she's conducted her own work. Let's see. How to best put this in. Let's see. One moment. Implementing a bit of technical restitution. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Timestamps. I think first things first. We need to create a link. A dashboard. Okay. Okay. Publishers. Yes. Good. Good. Nice. 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 All right. So we got a link. Okay. No, not exactly that. Okay. Studio, just simply give us a bit of a view here or something. Okay, let's see. Bear with me, guys. Just simply trying to reconfigure some of the systems here. Okay, as it is, with the base, the beach. I almost said beach. But with the same established concept in comparison with Twitch platform. It is essential that primarily a link of the established name of what is currently being broadcast, followed by the link that brings one to the broadcast itself, is required. I would say, at the very least, a bit of necessity so that, people know where to go. Now, in YouTube's case, it appears to be a bit more complex system. What it is that you have to manually navigate through the software itself in order to locate where said video is that can provide that link that would help any watchers to head off towards. If that makes any sense at all. Okay, dashboard. We have the dashboard here. Let's see. No, that's not it. Okay, I think this is definitely something that one has to dip their toes into until they become accustomed or a fluent amateur to veteran. When they become more and more capable of performing best. Let's see. Okay. Let's put on some music while we're waiting, right? Okay. That's another you. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. Honestly, this is taking far too much time. I would have thought I would have gotten it figured out by now after the first two videos. But as it is, there's definitely not so much... There's probably a guide to establish how one would continue applying a signature link to any sort of broadcast. But compared to Twitch, they make this tremendously difficult to navigate. Okay, and wish the camera would continue focusing upon me. Here. Okay, we'll fix this. Alright. Okay, so... Bam. Keep that loop. Got terminal dashboard, got content. Content, we're live right now. Yes. Okay, yeah. There it is. That's what I've been looking for. Video link. Apologies for this, guys. Here we go. Okay. As I call it, baby steps. Fighting against the current here. Okay. Copy. Control paste. Here we go. Alright, establishing the link. I'm curious, on the on-site topic that is of course related to pools and beaches and of course dipping your toes into. I'm actually quite curious if what the kind of practice or training that surfers have to go through in order to get themselves attuned to riding the waves. And if any waves are, of course, different to ones created artificially, like in an amusement park or a water park or something. If any of you guys are quite fluent in being able to surf or ride waves in that manner, it would be quite interesting to hear exactly how one would go about that kind of process. And with those skills actually transfer in with different equivalents, such as snowboarding or skateboarding. I'm actually really curious and want to know. Let's see. Almost established. Okay. Nice, nice. Alright. So, as step by step goes, let's learn to ride some waves, shall we? Now, though, in this case, let's take care of some enemies that will hinder our progress. Okay. So what has been the currently occupying method of dealing with many of these onset enemies that continue to spawn at an endless rate is, of course, for humans, that is the spamming of final hit. Production party. Declared EXP. Hmm. Seems like a leveling party to me. Hmm. I believe someone has compiled a bit of a leveling party in order to earn EXP or train up some skills that require monster finishes. Let's see, that's definitely not our case. Originally, it'll always be usually the left side that inhibits a boastful amount of notable goods. But let's try the right and see and hope that it turns out a bit better in terms of difficulty and monster control here. Alright. If we had a pet that could control aggro of all of these monsters, with enough durability, fortitude even, then it wouldn't be any trouble whatsoever. Just have them keep the distance and control the monsters, ensuring that they remain within a distance reach if monsters end up becoming too rowdy and end up knocking your pets a too far distance away. Okay. Nice control. Okay, that's enough knockback out of you. Okay. Need to make it so that we don't end up getting pushed back into that large crowd. Otherwise, it'll be tremendous trouble and a serious hassle with the control. Now, the golems in this case are, of course, established as the primary biggest threats and the highest hassle, because as it is, noticing the difference between the golems and all of these lesser mobs or monsters is that they can, of course, be knocked back, pushed away in any form. Whereas the golems, they can only be stunned. A tremendous difference to a golem that is quite commonly found as a established boss in the dungeon of Sion, thus making it far more difficult to handle if you end up becoming overrun in the situation. It doesn't help if there are random folks that come around and end up casting high-level skills or spells that end up killing a tremendous chunk of the mob's populace that are located in a certain corner. Let's see. So the pass is clear. And as you can see, ammo shriekers still remain a consistent thorn. Not as big as the golems, however. So one has to endlessly make full commitment in killing them endlessly until the area is completely clear and tremendously out of their radius, which is a long radius. Okay, area is clear. Hoping that we can get a sufficient amount of resources from this small bit. I really have my eyes set up on the bigger veins, but there's not really much we can do about it at this moment. And as you can see, it's still spawning. It becomes such a huge problem that it's as if you have no choice but to, I don't know. You try to eliminate them in one area of this mine, but they end up continuously spawning endlessly. And as you can see with this bison here, it's as if their AI fully compels them to move in the direction that is closest to the targetable player, or yeah. So all in all, it's a tremendous trouble and rather annoying. So far, so good. I'm actually inhibited to ask the question of whether the visual size of a vein impacts exactly how much that you would get from the vein itself. Maybe it's perhaps just better that we stick with one small vein, seeing as how we'll get far more produce from it than having to waste time tackling a larger vein. Perhaps our sword is best, seeing as how it also incurs highly timed bleed effects. Come on. Hurrah! We are. See, dealing with you has the potential to end up losing resources, so stop messing with me. Get out of here, man. Okay. Given the current situation, this is perhaps as good as we're gonna get in terms of having a free space, breathable with no monsters breathing down our throats at a constant rate of 20 seconds. Okay. So I suppose, well, we are of course in this onset process. Wasting anyone's time that comes nearby. Such an annoying creature. Okay. I think the next shrieker that wishes to impede us by getting itself as in our face as much as possible, I'm going to finally hit it. Right off the bat. And simply wait until another one shows up within the final hit's duration. We don't have time to waste here dealing with shit. Shit skulls. I refuse to waste any more time with them. See, good output, good outflow. This is what the Chaldea has been wanting to accomplish all along. Now, while this process is going, to talk a fair bit of the organization of Chaldea. It is, of course, a establishment that is located in a far atmospheric position. To put it simply, the Chaldea is located in a icy region of the world itself, where I'm from. It is, of course, because it is established as humanity's last stand. A type of organized military base of sorts. I think that would be the best means of describing it. But it is there that, of course, the establishment of the Servants project is, of course, located. There's an onset presence of footage regarding it. I would highly recommend watching Fate Grand Order in order to find a more surreal means of understanding. Okay. Obnoxious. Very obnoxious. Trying not to get closer to trigger the other ones, but it's very difficult. The AI is, of course, compelling them to move as close as possible to surrounding territory. So far, so good. And it's providing us with a sufficient amount. Very ideal. I like this. Good. Keep it this way with no other forms of creatures approaching whatsoever. You'll just end up walking here and bothering me. Okay. So, not to put it in comparison to the operations that I run within this Animus, similar to the Chaldea, I would say you can determine the Chaldea as a bit of a organizational authority, whereas the Animus, that is of course under my control, is more so an onset present database of innate knowledge of many individuals that established themselves throughout all of human history, regardless of reality or realm that they hail from. So, taking this into an example, let's say you want to talk about any individuals in the region, not region, the realm of Westeros. So yes, we can talk about that. You want to pique your curiosity on the events that had transpired within the lands of Hyrule. We can talk about that. You're curious about the inherent differences between demons that inhabit a realm or another. We can, of course, talk about that. We had established some prior connection and information regarding demons beforehand. A couple broadcasts ago. Thank you. So, any of those who are, of course, tuning in to the broadcast, welcome, watchers. This is your host, Omega, the omnipotent mass that wishes to provide any form of semblance records, providing feats of records for unsung heroes or adventures that established a legacy for themselves. Taking into an example, whether you are of course familiar or not with Gilgamesh's epic, holding tales of his feats and accomplishments. And his primary goal of establishing a long-lasting legacy of his accomplishments. Henceforth the name Gilgamesh's Epic. Would you wish to conform and acquire an established epic for yourself? Then leave not, hold your record with me. Excellent. This works. Nice. I guess on the bright side, after dealing with so many headache monsters in this region, this area, it's bolstered our combat mastery exponentially. Glad to see that there's at least some positive to the onset headache of these animate life forms in this area. Good. Okay, let's see. So, If there is, of course, no topic to be discussed at this very moment of time, I can, of course, provide a bit of a onset lead. Lead any discussions at this present time. So, within the Chaldea organization, as I had mentioned before, stating the onset purpose of the Animus itself, we can, without a doubt, go much further from there, with any onset plans that can take place within the Animus itself. Taking for an example, we could, of course, compile some sort of speculation or theories. Like, let's say, what were to occur or be a probable cause of happening if a different or alternate direction were taken different from, of course, what we know, or what is, of course, established as a primary truth. Okay, taking for an example from what we know. Well, I'll make use of the information that we already know, established from the files of or records of Westeros. We know that it is, of course, and a bit of a caution here, but spoilers, potential spoilers for those who are not familiar with what had occurred in Westeros. So, Westeros, we have Arya Stark, a lady of Winterfell, whom is sigiled by the wolf. She is, of course, known as the professional assassin and daughter to Ned Stark. She acquired her skills in such a regard that enabled her to become a highly efficient killer. Being the killer that she is, what if, say for an example, by a speculations standpoint, if she were not successful in killing the Night King? What if she had failed? What would have happened to humanity had the Night King ended up killing her instead? And as a result, finishing off the holder of many of mankind's memories, Bran Stark, Arya's younger brother. What would be the onset cause and effect after that kind of situation? That is something that would pique one's interest. Would that be the end of humanity in all of its entirety? What would be the aftermath if the White Walker army were to beset all of their forces upon King's Landing, where the Lannisters hold their own position in? Ooh, this is nice. But yeah, these are kind of the onset types of speculations that could, without a doubt, come into mind and into fruition within the Animus itself. Think about it. If it's not even just limited to Westeros, what of Hyrule? What of the reality of Japan that is beset by the ever-growing presence of demons? That is something that should, of course, be put into consideration. Wouldn't you agree? We can go even a step further from there. Taking into an example, this into a bit of a creative concept. become a bit of a blacksmith in a plot of a story. So say there's of course an established setting that is already put into place of what has been set as a basic truth in the realm, or in the reality that is established as Overwatch. For those who are not familiar, I will put it as basic in terms as I can, based on the information we know. Overwatch, it is an organization that was formed by founding nations and whatnot to establish a primary force to take control, or rather re-establish control for the humans against an AI system known as the Omnic Crisis. The Omnic Crisis's main purpose is to eradicate all human life, eliminating a threat. This is where we can, of course, mix things up here. As it is, it's an AI system that inhibits the goal of eliminating humanity, right? Pretty much a catastrophic or potentially apocalyptic ending. It is quite similar to any regards to the Terminator. This is how one can, of course, make any kind of onset mix-up or mash in type of regard. So, how would humanity operate if the Omnic Crisis prevented the nations from uniting one another and creating the team called Overwatch as a result? It would be a situation where united we stand, divided we fall. Now, the organization itself, Overwatch, was successful for a considerable amount of time. It appears that what in actuality had caused its downfall was internal strife, to put it simply. Internal strife being that one primary duty commander was actually replaced by another who was given record to have a better reputation, and as a result provide better morale towards the forces under the Overwatch command. This was an upset to the first established leader. And so the Eternal Strife conducted a conclusive end to the organization of Overwatch as a result. One side making a tremendous amount of conspiracy actions, thus throwing tremendous dirt over the how we'd say, the integrity that Overwatch had set its base upon. In a way, I think it can definitely be put into a tremendously similar case as Paladins and Dark Knights in this realm or reality. in this world itself. Two sides of the same coin. The light being that of goodwill and tremendous fortune, following leads and moral examples of refined and awesomely positive behavior. Whereas with the darkness, you succumb to that of vengeance, revenge, and beseech yourself into the means of greed and anger and wrath. A side that besets itself in negative connotation. All in all, you'd have two sides facing off against one another, vying to overpower and overcome the opposing side. Butting heads constantly. Alright. Nice, nice. Now, hopefully this should be sufficient enough for us to make some work out of. Now that we've taken care of a considerable amount of the mining process, with some valuable resources to make some great strides and progress with, I think the next step is to take care of some ingredient collection on our parts. For this in mind, I suppose the best ways to perform this would be to take care of the daily missions. That means getting our hands dirty, guys. Getting ourselves into that action of slaughtering many enemies of the Tuatha De Dananns and the Malatians. First place that'll take us to, though, of course, would be Tara. Let's see, with Tara, got our weapons. Can we use a pet trainer? We'll use guns. And tackle this. Excuse me. At a hard level. Oh, we got an elite. We'll do that one instead. Let's see, instead of guns, we'll have to make use of something far stronger. As far as skills go, I believe, our shuriken would be the next best skill in Kiralight's arsenal that can provide some substantive damage in this setting. So, by all means, with any watchers that are of course tuning in, if you're enjoying the onset and inherent ideas that are of course illustrated within all of our control, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and leave a like. Also, feel free to keep track of many of the other stories that are being established or foretold within the Animus itself by clicking the link to my Twitch channel down below. That is at twitch.tv/OmnicaAnimask. And that is, of course, where everything falls into place. As it is at this very moment, things are still proceeding under construction, as this is only a one mask job that can be compiled at as much effort as possible. But nonetheless, all of your support is very much appreciated. So, let's see. From here on, without a doubt, I would love to incur the idea of providing a on-set plethora of lore videos featuring many of the individuals and their past and histories within the realm of Erinn here. The world that which Erinn is, of course, inscribed into. Many individuals, such as the fallen Knight of Light, Luglavara. Then there's the goddess of destruction, Morrigan, for which I'm quite curious as to why and how she established her name as the goddess of love, of life and love. Wait. No. I got that actually mixed up. The goddess of destruction is Morrigan's sister, Maka, or Macha. However it is that you wish to pronounce it. But nonetheless, there is tremendous lore and tales of exploits and feats that many of these individuals have undergone. And I would wish to incur a tremendous amount of effort into uncovering each and every single one, telling their story. I could also do the same for other individuals in different realms, all across the expanse of realities, such as Arya Stark of Westeros, Mash Kirilite of the Chaldea, maybe even Link, from any well-known time within Hyrule's history. Let's see. Ninja. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. Nice. Let me see. Might be too loud. I think it's too loud. Hold on. Yeah, if there are any watchers that are, of course, tuning in at this moment, please let me know of any kind of sound testing. Notify if the sound is, of course, too soft or too loud at any point. Muchos appreciated. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, large nails, nice. Good. Grab some gold. We can open up some bags as well. Oh wait, is there? Hold on. Gotta check to see if there are any on-set ingredients that remain behind. That is part of the prerogative. This one's clear. Nice. Mash's summons do not really have the fortitude available to inhibit the means of tanking any of these high-level monsters. So we'll just simply have to deal with it for now. Alright. Nice. Sad to say that at the same time, Mash isn't in her natural garb or outfit. Really can't be helped. Leave no creature behind. I don't think we need any gold or for the time being. Let's see. We're doing pretty good on time, not too bad. No point in waiting around. We got things to take care of. Okay. As far as I know, these orbs circling the entirety of the space has no apparent influence or effect upon this room. Let's see. Let's see. Alchemy. There appear to be many on-set individuals that have an establishment with alchemy itself as well. From what Omni has, of course, incurred or witnessed, it appears that there are several individuals that have a on-set, unsung connection to alchemy itself, and established alchemy as their way of life. These individuals can of course be called the Elephant Warriors. Then there's Roy Mustang, who is established as a primary on-set commander for the Royal Alchemists. I believe it's called Royal Alchemists. More data is required to incite full information regarding this. Berserker mode! Final hits. Final hit the Berserker skill. Now, to provide a little bit of a essential reminder, Omnica, of course, follows an onset innate law of sorts that I would like to establish. For those who are, of course, new watchers currently present to the broadcast of Omnica, it is how to put it, befitting of a bit of a essential knowledge to establish that many individuals, of course, placed into one of 7 primary categories of classes when it comes to Omnica. Those classes will, of course, naturally be Saber, Lancer, Archer, Berserker, Rider, Assassin, and Caster. There are many additional equivalents to this as well, to put into a bit of a primary basis. And you can, of course, instead follow this reference instead. Let's see. For sabers, one can definitely, without a doubt, compare a saber to a warrior. I suppose the same can be said of Berserker as well. I can't say there's really much of a distinction between the two. I suppose it will have to depend on the reality that you wish to visit upon. So it is of course established by definition that a berserker is of course a warrior that goes completely all out. Going into a tremendous rampage of unparalleled fury. If that is, of course, the best way to describe a berserker. I think in such a context, I can, of course, mark a berserker down as any individual that is beset with any kind of natural fighting ability, but specializing in a unique onset category. That is very forthcoming of any standard warrior. Let's see. Taking into an example, we have many realms that can put this into a bit of a perspective. If one, of course, possesses a power that is tremendously over becoming of a warrior itself, such as an individual that possesses inhuman strength. Taken to an example, a giant, of course. We could impart a giant to become the category of a berserker in such a case. Because there are some things that a giant can do that a human cannot. And the same can be said for humans when it comes to giants. Let's see. A primary example of a berserker would, without a doubt, to be Hercules. Now, one doesn't have to fight the same as a warrior would. One can be specialized in the throw of weapons and be sufficient enough to incur such weapons, incur the full maximum potential of using such weapons. Romantic feel? Interesting. Nice, nice. Thank you for putty. Some notable berserkers that I can name an example out of would be of course the following. In such cases, Hercules was of course one. Then there's Lu Bu. Surely there's no name that hasn't. There's no one who hasn't heard of the name Lu Bu. What of Tadakatsu Honda? I would suppose that given different realms that we have encountered thus far in all of our travels, and within the records, we can of course establish several other individuals that we've come to establish a conscious connection with, as being primary onset berserkers themselves. Such individuals such as there is Zoro, there is Mara Uchiha, Madara Uchiha. Yeah, that name is of course I don't know. He's also more than likely established as an assassin class kind of individual. So it's definitely up to interpretation. He's without a doubt an assassin, being how he is, of course, a well-established and professional ninja, what with all of his abilities. But he invokes a tremendous plethora of classifications that are befitting of a caster as well. Wouldn't one be inclined to agree in this regard as well? Seeing as how, based on his feats, from what I can establish, he was able to unleash not one, but two meteor classified attacks upon an entire army. It's on his own power alone. That is something that a caster is more than likely capable of performing. All in all, I would say he inhibits the capabilities of performing the same feats that are equivalent to 3 classes in one body. Ladies and gentlemen, Madara Uchiha. I think we can. I'm gonna turn this music down. There's no need to double up on music. Let's see. Let's say daily. Hard mode. Oh, is that? Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Ah, the left. Okay. Fine by me. Let's see. So with time being limited, that provides us with at least 20 minutes remaining before the mask has to, Omnika has to depart to assist Ukitsu in overtaking a plethora of dragons. Speaking of dragons, there are without a doubt many individuals that are either dragons or have a connection with dragons themselves. For Westeros, that will of course be Queen Daenerys. for any other place. Let's say, let's see, for Link in the timeline of the adults. The young man that establishes his name as Link, whom inherited the reincarnated spirit of the hero. He has came into establishing relations with the dragon himself, known as the dragon called, aptly named Valu. There are numerous other dragons as well, but I suppose you would all get what I'm saying. Here's to hoping it doesn't take too long to acquire a party. But yeah, for the ease of time, we're going to actually tackle this on basic. This will allow us not only to take care of the mission at hand, but also acquire materials that can't otherwise be collected at this difficulty. Plus, it'll save time. Trying to run away. Easy enemies to take care of. Nice, nice. And with this revamp of all of these shadow missions, especially of this one, it makes it tremendously easier to traverse back and forth from post to post, taking care of enemies on the spot. Plus the reduction in time that it takes to complete set missions as well. There we go. Nice, nice. That squad's gonna have to wait. Okay. The potentially haphazard or negative side is, as you can see, the NPCs have low health. So the durability is not all that great. So quick work must be done to dispatch the enemies, it seems. We can make use of this. They're being overwhelmed. Yep. Okay. I was kind of expecting a bit more resources that are essential in ranking up the skill of pet trainer skills. Well, no choice but to make do, I suppose. Can't be helped. Gonna have to wrestle with some areas here and there offhand to ensure that we make a successful and efficient use of this potion's active effects within its time. Oh, nice. Mash is more than enough to take care of mobs at hard mode level, but she does not possess the ability to traverse as quickly as Ukitsu can. It'd be nice if you could die just the first time when you get hit. Yeah. Good. Go. Hayaku. Don't give up. Okay. Nice. And the last wave. There we go. Nice. Long reach. And final wave. Nice. Okay. Finishing this up. Shurikens have that onset reach. Yes. Nice. So, that would definitely incur a fair bit of assassination demonstration. Speaking of which, been taken up on holding records of assassin techniques and whatnot as well, and to establish any individuals or watchers that have incurred a present interest or an innate affiliation with assassination, the assassin class. They can without a doubt take a gander at those. Two things done. I'll take care of that mission at another time. Alright, let's see. What with the time we have remaining? Let's see if we can run a pass really quick as a final means of collecting several important ingredients essential in expanding our use of fin crafting. Let's see. For those establishing a new presence here within the world of Erinn, this individual here, this NPC, provides a plethora of numerous difficulty passes at standard presence, the standard rate. Let's see. We will go with intermediate. No, not intermediate. Do you want intermediate? One moment. The primary ingredients that we are seeking to look for would be octopus. It's found in ingredient hunting. Then we have chicken, then turkeys. I think we might have an easier time if we were to acquire some through the auction house in no time at all. Erinn, this is nice. Very good. Octopus on sale. And at a good cost too. We'll buy a stack of this one. A stack of chicken. Glad to see that they're in the market at this time. Let's see. We'll buy a stack. A stack is all we need. Then some turkey. Let's see. Notable merchant advice: buy low, sell high. Pulp. Some pulp. We have the funds to cover all of this. Stack of pulp. What else is needed? Let's see, what else is on the list? Taking a moment to check out crafting. Let's see. Octopus. We got turkey, chicken, pulp on the list. If anything, I would believe that is probably all we might need. Flying fish. Not stackable. Rainbow trout isn't stackable either. Kelting carp is of course stackable. Let's see. But it requires another ingredient that'll take a bit more effort to acquire than what we would have time for. Vibrant pine resin. Pet perfumes. Fairly easy to obtain. Fairly easy. But requires a considerable amount of time to acquire. Okay, I think that's all we need. All we needed was octopus, turkey, chicken, and pulp. Everything else requires some ingredient that can only be obtained through a Magmel mission. Okay. Alright, nice, nice. This is good. So from then on, excuse me, tripping over my own tongue right now. Once assistance has been established and acquired for Ukitsu, going to proceed to offhandedly finish off what is established with the Fin abilities for a pet trader. Many bottles here. It is here that we will be receiving the honey from. Let's see, party board. Looking for Macmel. Seems like the okay. Yeah. Alright. So what did we just get? Okay. Ah, fragrant honey. Very nice. This is ideal. And very easy to obtain. Thus, we definitely have a pet trainer in the pack, without having need to spend any more time with searching and locating vigorously for any ingredients that are essential in the ranking process. Perfection. So with that in mind, I would say this established chest is pretty much an A-okay. Everything turns out pretty much green in terms of the technical resolutions and whatnot. Acquiring skills and initiating many onset inherent plans that are to be established within, I would like to call, the blueprints. The construction of the Animus is proceeding smoothly as possible. Very nice. This is what I like to see. Omnica is pleased of this. So, with that in mind, if you enjoyed what had been discussed here and are interested in observing what will be coming into fruition within the realms or the halls of the Animus, please feel free to subscribe to this channel here, Omnica Animesque, and leave a like. Feel free to comment as well for any onset suggestions that you wish to incur as well in such a regard. Apologies for any kind of reduction in feedback that may have made itself apparent throughout this broadcast. But it's one of those onset kinks that the mask is, of course, trying to inhibit and buffer out. So, much like at the very start, this is essentially established primarily on this platform as comparable as taking your first trip to the beach. So, you learned a couple things, and you'll get better as time goes on. The same is true with Omnica here present as well. So with that in mind, to inhibit and incur the other stories that the mask is of course covering, feel free to follow me down on my Twitch channel. The link is of course in the description below. And I'll be happy to incite any additional future ideas such as lore put in place like with Mash Curelite here, or with Arya Stark of Westeros. Many and any individuals that, of course, come to mind. I'll, of course, start inquiring to constructing a onset lore in that regard, as well as any beneficial scenarios that come to mind. It's all open to your perception and precipitation. Words. So thank you all for joining the mask in this onset broadcasting and test. Now here's to hoping that it, of course, marks itself as watchable for those who are interested in viewing what's come to place within this broadcast and what to expect come the future. Here's your host, Omnika, bidding you a matane. Here's to hoping you guys have a good evening. Take care of guys. Matane till let's see, today's Wednesday. Yeah, till the Thursday, guys. Till tomorrow. Yeah. Just to remember, a bit of a reminder, there will of course be a event occurring all throughout Erinn, known as the Doki Doki event. Here's to acquiring some new things for those who are establishing themselves within the world of Erinn. Matane!